Today's sync sound is a sniff. 3, 2, 1.
Every time I do that, I feel like I need to blow my nose.
I know. I didn't want to do it too hard. All right, welcome to That Just Might Work. This is a show where we take a look at the everyday inventions that you might use on a regular basis, but you don't think twice about them. Then we're going to think about them 3 times or more.
We're going to take a look at how they came about in the first place and what we might do to change them, for better or worse.
Yeah. We are brothers, Jason and Jesse, and this is our show, That Just Might Work. Hey, if you want to follow us on social media and on the web, check us out, facebook.com/thatjustmightwork. On Twitter, it's at TJMW Podcast, and on Instagram, it's at That Just Might Work. The website is thatjustmightworkpodcast.com. You'll find links to send ideas and emails to either of us. We definitely need the ideas because this is the only one we have, this first episode, right?
Yep.
A couple on the back burner. But as a starting point, we're going to start today with the subject of the alarm clock.
I think that's a fan favorite.
Yeah, I don't know that we have any fans yet, but I feel like when we do and they go back and listen to the first episode, it will be a favorite at that point.
I hope so.
So the way the show works, as we mentioned, we're going to tell you about the history. We're going to tell you about why we hate the alarm clock. We're going to talk about some innovative alarm clock news, and then we might come up with some of our own crazy ideas. And then we're going to wrap up the show with a fun game that should I spoil it or what?
No, let's keep it a surprise.
All right, we're going to wrap up the show with a fun game. Though if you are a fan that's coming back to listen to the first episode, you already know what the game is.
True. Those people win.
See, it's kind of like we're addressing hypothetical listeners in the future.
That's us being confident.
I'm not confident. This is, what is this, the 15th test episode?
Yeah, something like that.
No, this is episode 1. I feel good about this one.
Yeah, it's our first time ever doing this.
Yeah, this is our first take, believe it or not.
Yeah, off the cuff.
We haven't been working on this for almost 2 years, right?
I didn't spend all day taking notes on the alarm clock. What are you talking about?
No, I haven't been studying. All right, so let's jump right into it. Personally, I don't know about you. I didn't know much about the history of the alarm clock before I did the research.
Yeah, nothing.
And I also didn't realize how far over my head I was going to get because I know I texted you. I quickly realized that in looking up the history of the alarm clock, I also needed to look up the history of measuring time.
Yeah, that's a difficult subject.
Yeah. Are you being arrested right now?
That is a siren outside my building, and I'm not sure yet. We'll find out.
It sounds like it's getting closer. So if I just hear like a struggle and then you disappear, I'll assume that
it's gonna be
you were involved in some legal stuff.
The most interesting first episode ever.
We'll have so many fans if we can kick it off like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go back to. Ready for this?
Yeah.
428 to 348 BC.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because, frankly, I don't care that much about time. We're here to talk about the alarm clock, not the clock. But right. I feel like I need to address a couple of things. So, actually, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato was said to possess a large water clock. That had an unspecified alarm signal similar to the sound of a water organ. I don't know what that sounds like.
Ooh.
And he would use it at night, possibly to signal the beginning of his lectures at dawn.
So he kind of made the first alarm clock.
He's said to have possessed. So take that for, I'm doing air quotes. Take that for what you will. And a water clock I did look up is a device that, dictated time based upon the flow rate of water out of the clock.
Okay.
Don't ask me to explain how that works, but it was a measurement of flow rate.
Is it a bucket? Like,
they didn't have cameras back then, so
we're just guessing here.
Yeah, I don't really know what it looks like. Then we can go back to again. Actually, a little bit later in time, 200 BC.
Getting closer to Jesus. Sorry.
It would have been awesome if I just said, yeah, so the clock, Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He set the first snooze button.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
That whole rebirth thing?
Oh.
Yeah, it was a snooze cycle.
It was actually delayed by 9 minutes.
No, back to the Hellenistic engineer. Did you know that was a time period?
Oh, like Helena of Troy?
I don't know. An inventor by the name of, and forgive me if I say this wrong, and I guarantee you I'm saying it wrong.
Okay.
Because it's a C and then a T, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Which one's silent, the T or the C?
Both. That's not true.
Eusebius. I'm going to go with Eusebius. I tried to do both.
Yeah.
It's probably like Chesabius or something. Anyway, he fitted his clepsydrus, I don't know what that is, with a dial and pointer for indicating the time, and added some elaborate alarm system. So again, 200 to 400 BC, some like water clock type devices that actually had alarm systems. In China, the first striking clock was devised by the Buddhist monk and inventor Yi Xing in the year 683.
Not to be confused with Jesus.
Yeah, right. No, he invented the snooze in the year 0.
Right.
So a striking clock was the first clock that actually had a device that striked something.
Like bells or something, presumably.
Yeah, like a gong.
Oh, okay.
And then, let's see, the first adjustable mechanical alarm clock. Want to take a guess on the year?
Wow, we've been pretty far back in time. So, how about 400 AD?
No, 1847.
Wow.
Yeah, we're jumping ahead like 1,000 years.
Yeah,
here.
I was gonna say not a lot happened in that middle period.
No,
there.
they got by with the striking clock and the water clock and the gong and whatnot.
The old water organ.
Yeah, French inventor Antoine Redier. Redier, it might be, was the first to patent the adjustable mechanical alarm clock. And alarm clocks, this is actually really, really interesting. And this is all from Wikipedia, by the way.
Yeah.
Alarm clocks, like almost all other consumer goods in the U.S., ceased production in the spring of 1942 as the factories had to be converted over to war work during World War II. And I say it's interesting because they were one of the first consumer items to resume manufacture for civilian use in 1944.
Yeah, people weren't waking up on time.
You think it's funny, but there was a critical shortage of alarm clocks that developed due to older clocks wearing out or breaking down. They stopped production of them, and workers were late or completely were missing their scheduled shifts for jobs that were critical in the war effort.
It seems weird to me that we were legitimately reliable on the alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
Like society would break down if we got rid of them.
Can you imagine? Just like,
What happened to the rooster? Was that never actually a thing?
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't come up.
Yeah.
I guess the farmers were the only ones on time.
Yeah.
You imagine that though? It's like, where's Jim? His alarm clock must have worn out. He's saving up for another one.
Yeah, that's a great work excuse.
He's going to be late for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
The first radio alarm clock invented by James Reynolds in the 1940s.
Okay.
And I think that's where we should stop on history.
Yeah.
There was a lot to cover there, but do you feel like I did an all right job?
Yeah, that was a good summary.
Okay.
I think us and our listeners know more than we ever needed to about the alarm clock.
Good. Okay. So the next part of the show is where we take a look at the modern alarm clock and we talk about why it sucks. So why don't you take it from here?
Yeah. I had a little bit of a hard time thinking of anything other than the main reason I hate it, and that's just I don't like waking up. Which unless I'm dead, that's
have you considered professional help?
Yeah, right. That might, like, maybe I have sleep apnea or something, but I mean, I really hate waking up. And so, by association, I hate the alarm clock. I was going to say, can we just get rid of them? But you already told us that the world would fall apart. So
yeah, they're very important.
So I'm okay. We can keep them. But other things I dislike, I think the sounds are generally really annoying. Like who decide, like if they had a gong at one point, that's kind of nice. But the digital beeps we have, those are pretty terrible.
I'm sorry, you think that a gong would be a nicer way to wake up than a digital beep?
I could be wrong. I'll need to test that, I guess.
Have you ever heard a gong before?
I mean, not like in person, I don't think.
Yeah, like maybe if it was a digital gong, but a real gong is like
digital gong.
That would be really startling.
Yeah.
So I have similar thoughts in that I too don't like waking up.
I think we should just probably be dead, is what it sounds like.
Right. There's no point in waking up. But we're adults and we have jobs that we have to get to.
Right.
So I just find the whole waking up experience to be absolutely terrible. It's like one of the worst parts of my day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the sounds are kind of jarring. There's nothing, and you know what the funny thing is? I have an alarm clock, but it's not plugged in and I don't use it. I just use my phone alarm because I found it to be a little bit less jarring for some reason.
I'm the same way. I use my phone.
And I also typically hit the snooze for, I don't know, what's 9 times 4?
At least 36 minutes.
Yeah, for like a half an hour before I get up. And it's stupid because I'm not, my girlfriend gives me a hard time because what's the point if every single morning I'm going to hit the snooze button 4 times, why don't I just set the alarm for 30 minutes later?
Yep.
But 30 minutes later is not, I'm late to work every day. There's not enough time for me to do all the things that I need to do. And I don't blame it on the fact that I didn't go to bed early enough. I blame it on the alarm clock.
That seems fair. I'm the same way. I think if you asked any of my previous roommates, they'd probably just say they hate me because of that. Like I snooze my alarm for an hour sometimes. And if you're living with another person, that's pretty terrible.
Yes. Well, obviously, we are brothers. What I know about you is that when you're sleeping, you're actually in a coma.
Right.
And, a regular volume alarm, I don't even think that you would hear it to snooze it.
Yeah. I don't remember it happening.
Okay.
It's
so
subconscious.
You're in like a half sleep stage.
Yep.
So, I think we might have slightly different issues because I think I'm a lighter sleeper than you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, jarring experience. It sucks getting me up. I'm miserable about getting up. And I think that's the extent of my complaints for now.
I think the last thing I had is that, especially with like the traditional alarm clock, it's that it's, you can't really, you can adjust it every night, but it's like if you set it for 7:30, it's always going to be 7:30 no matter when you fall asleep. And like, I'm not good enough to fall asleep at like 10:15 every night, that fluctuates by like an hour or two.
Right.
So I feel like something that kind of, I don't know, could help with that problem would be nice.
Okay. So, the scheduling of the alarms you have an issue with.
Yep.
Okay. You know that you can set it before you go to bed, right?
Really?
But you want that process to be smoothed out.
It's a little harder when you have a gong next to your head, I tell you.
That's true. All right. So at this point in the show, we'll move on to talk about some innovative news. I know that you did the bulk of the research here, Jesse.
Yeah.
What did you find in terms of new inventions? I have seen a lot of crazy alarm clock inventions over the course of my lifetime, so I'm curious if you have seen anything that I haven't heard of.
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners will have heard of some of these because they're pretty popular. I think the biggest one is Clocky, which is an alarm clock that has wheels on the side. And that goes off and it rolls off of your nightstand and somewhere into the room. And in order to stop the alarm, you have to go and find it.
So that's good. That's good for people that are snoozing and having a hard time getting out because they have to go up and find it and turn it off. It sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yep. And like, honestly, I was getting like kind of angry just researching these because it brings up a lot of like that, the same thing you said, just being like miserable in the morning. And
yeah, I wouldn't, like, I wouldn't buy that for myself because I'm already having an anger issue in the morning. I don't want to deal with that.
Right. And at some point, actually, I don't know if you remember this, I had a similar thing where the alarm would go off and it would shoot this little propeller, one of those tiny like toy propellers around the room. And in order to stop the alarm, you had to find the propeller and put it back on top.
Okay. So what was your experience with that alarm?
I mean, I hated it. But of course, like, you know, anger breeds innovation. And I learned that I could just jam a pen into the top of it. And that actually would shut it up. So it didn't work.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's a 0 for that invention.
Yep. Another one I found that people may have heard of is the sonic bomb, which it's a very loud alarm clock, and B, it has like a bed shaker attachment that actually vibrates your mattress.
Yeah, I've seen this. I think I considered buying it for you for Christmas.
Yeah.
At one point when we were growing up.
I believe that.
What's the decibel rating on that thing?
I don't know, but I did see a couple articles say it's actually potentially dangerous. Like it's at that threshold of like hearing damage.
I think they say any like prolonged listening over like 85 decibels can damage your ears, and you know that's the concern about earbuds and such.
Yeah, and for someone like me who knows, I might not wake up to it. I could just be damaging my ears for 36 minutes.
Right, which is just going to further create issues for you waking up.
That's a bad positive feedback cycle.
Okay.
There's the wake up lights, which get brighter as you're supposed to wake up. That's actually one of my favorites because I think that's probably the most natural way to wake up.
Yeah, I like the like new age alarm clocks that have, I was reading they're called like dawn simulators that, you know, they gradually brighten up the room. I think they can use like the right color temperature to replicate the sunrise. And I like the new age alarm clocks that incorporate, I know there's like some phone apps that use the accelerometer.
Yeah.
And kind of like can wake you up in the right point in a sleep cycle. And I am more a fan of those than the like jarring, like difficult sleeper alarm clocks because I want a more pleasant awakening experience.
Right. I don't want to like have an actual heart attack when I'm waking up. That's not going to help me. A few others, I got a long list here, but I'll just sort of pick my favorites. There's a lot of these new smart alarm clocks. So, you know, it's got Amazon Alexa enabled, Bluetooth. It integrates with all your home automation. So the Nest thermostat, Fitbit, and, one of the popular ones here on Kickstarter is called Bonjour. It's made by a French company. And, actually, I don't know if that's true.
I would have been surprised if you said it's called Bonjour. It's made by a Spanish company.
Well, I was going to say, honestly, it's probably made by an American who was like, this'll sound French. Bonjour.
What French words do we know? We's already taken. Bonjour.
There you go. For me, it was either that or cheese, so that wouldn't be a great alarm.
I don't think I'm saying. Is it bonjour or is it bonjour? I think if I emphasize the J too hard, I'm just sounding really American.
I thought you were going to say Bon Jovi first. Yeah.
Is there a Bon Jovi alarm clock?
I didn't find one, but I will take a note that we want one.
I'm putting that under my ideas.
Okay. Yeah,
like 6:30 in the morning, you get. What's that song that everyone sings? You know, whoa.
Yeah, that one.
Living on a prayer.
That would be terrible.
I would really learn to hate that song.
Oh, yeah. So
that would kind of be an epic way to start the day, though.
Yeah, I do think like the power music like that is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the past, I know I've used songs and you really do end up hating the song.
Yes, I have had that problem. You can't use a song that you like to wake yourself up.
Right. I hope no one uses this podcast to wake up.
Yes, don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think we're jarring enough.
I was like, should I scream right now? Would that help? Probably not. Okay, so my favorite thing about the Bonjour alarm clock is that integration. And if you watch the Kickstarter video, oh god. Is that Bon Jovi here in the background?
Yeah, I just wanted to think about it.
If you watch
that would be cool.
What?
Sorry. Continue.
If you watch the Kickstarter video. It's just really funny. And this person has this connected to a Fitbit, and it's got one of those, you know, kind of judgy sounding automated voices, and it just kicks in and goes, "Hey James, you didn't walk much today." It's like, tomorrow is Saturday. How about going for a run? I'm just like,
oh, I have like the MyFitnessPal app, and like every other week it's like, hey, just a reminder to step on the scale today. Like, yeah, you want just a reminder to go, you know.
Yeah,
I like that, an alarm clock that kind of is like is sarcastically insulting to you.
Yeah, I feel like I might end up punching this alarm clock.
Hey, Jason, you look comfortable sleeping there.
My watch does like the same thing, where if I'm not being active enough, it just like dings, and it's like, you're usually more active than this. And I'm like, oh man, just frustrates me.
Well, that's the problem, is you set the bar too high.
Yeah, I probably like took a run one day, which was a mistake.
Yeah. And then the watch is like, oh wow, look at the potential that he has.
Yeah. No. These days it does reward me when I stand up like once every 2 hours, which is pretty sad. It's like,
you get like a gold star.
Yeah, it's like, you made progress towards your stand goal today.
You spent 3 hours not on your ass.
Yeah, right. Like, what a sad state modern humanity is at, that's like an achievement.
I like it. I have a Fitbit, but I don't know where it is. But
classic.
I like the that's for another show. But I like the fitness attachment stuff.
Yeah, I do like that. And those are cool. Like, you know, they'll give you the traffic and the weather. So I like everything about that. No real complaints.
Okay.
Another successful Kickstarter. I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing this. It's like Italian. Baresur.
That sounded French.
Yeah, it might be. And
say it like you're talking about like in an Italian restaurant. You know, a spicy meatball.
Baresur.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like, we've just offended, you know, any of our listeners of any other nationality.
You know, Spanish, French, and Italian. So
yeah, the Romance languages. Anyway, this one brews tea or coffee when the alarm goes off, right on the side of your bed.
All right, check off one of my ideas. I was gonna suggest that.
And I think I like the idea because you're gonna wake up to fresh coffee, which sounds awesome.
Sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah, I was thinking like, this is like going to be near boiling water, you know, 1.5 feet from your head.
Right, when your motor functions are not at 100%.
And if you have any, like, you know, lasting impressions from your previous alarm clocks and you go to snooze this thing, woo, you'll wake up, that's for sure.
Yeah, getting with some nice blisters.
Yeah. I think the only, like, I'm just jealous really of the people who made this, because honestly, all it is one of those coffee pots that you can set like a timer on to brew coffee in the morning. Those exist already.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that I have like a $20 Mr. Coffee Maker that has a, schedule alarm setter. It's got a clock on it. You can make it brew coffee whenever you want. It just doesn't sit on my bedstand or beep.
Right. So, and this is like a $300 alarm clock.
Oh, geez. So, yeah, they don't get any points for creativity there.
Right.
Or really innovating the coffee pot, but I like where their head's at.
Yep. And I'm going to quickly go through the last two here. There's Ruggy, which you have to stand on. So you physically have to get up and stand on it for 3 seconds to stop the alarm.
Oh, that wouldn't be enough to get me
I know, that's what I said. I was like, that's weak. If you think I can't stand for like 5 minutes and go back to bed, you got a problem.
Yeah, the problem is, like, until you're up and you've showered or eaten something, like, for me, I'm still kind of sleeping.
Right. I think there are days
where I could get back in bed and be asleep in less than a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there are days where I get up, shower, and I'm like, I could lay back down right now and go back to sleep. And right. The last one, my favorite, Sensor Wake. Another successful Kickstarter. This wakes you up to different smells.
Okay.
So it comes with like smell cartridges, and you put, yep, and you put them in, and in the morning it like aerosolizes the scent and wakes you up.
I like where this is heading at, because this is, the whole point of That Just Might Work is we're talking about these everyday inventions that we feel maybe haven't been innovated to the point where they should be for this current day and age, right?
Right.
So thus far, we're like, all right, the alarm clock makes a noise. It's scheduled to a time. It can do automated things. It can sync to your phone. Whatever. This is all. None of that is amazing to me.
Right.
I like this because it's actually appealing to a different sense.
Yep.
Smell. So what sense can we wake up to? Like bacon or?
Yeah, I've got a few here. They've got one called American Breakfast, which is bacon and freshly squeezed orange juice.
I love that, but I would also be disappointed because I would wake up and there wouldn't be an American breakfast.
That's what I was going to say. This next one is continental breakfast, right? So it's espresso and hot croissant. And I'm saying, if you wake me up and my bedroom smells like hot croissant, but you haven't made me a hot croissant, like, we're going to have a problem. I'm just going to be angrier than I was before.
All right, so make a note. We need an alarm clock that makes a hot croissant.
That's what I said. I'll save that for my ideas section. But let me finish these scents. A couple other ones like seaside, some of those like essential oil smells. The one I really want to comment on here though, they have one called VIP Lounge. And the scent they describe it is as dollar and ebony luxury. I like the idea of waking up to the smell of cash. I don't know.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
When you said VIP lounge, I thought like the smell of the floor in a bar that hasn't been cleaned enough.
So you were thinking like vomit and stale beer?
I wasn't gonna go vomit, but yeah, like stale beer, sweat, maybe a little bit of body odor,
disappointment.
That's disappointment. Maybe a little bit of money, like pennies, like copper.
Just imagining an ad. Wake up to the smell of disappointment.
Well, that's what the American breakfast is. That's all.
True.
That's the smell of you being disappointed in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I have a couple of thoughts. Those are nice smells, right? Other than maybe VIP lounge.
Sure.
If you want to take this smell cartridge and have the jarring effect like a lot of other alarm clocks do, why not make it smell like gasoline?
Ooh.
Or like smoke.
Oh my God. That's a hilariously bad idea.
So you're sleeping and then all of a sudden you smell gasoline. You're going to jump right out of bed and be like, oh, it's just the smell cartridge.
So you want to make an alarm clock and it smells like smoke, and then we have it mimic the sound of a fire alarm.
As long as it can't be smelled or heard outside of if you're in an apartment. It shouldn't be allowed in apartments.
Yeah, this is a house-only device.
I like that. It could even spray water in your face to recreate like a sprinkler system.
If you're one of the people who's going for these giant alarm clocks, you're not allowed to disagree with us here.
Real life emergency.
This is a great idea.
Reenactments. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to our ideas. Okay. I think we touched on a couple of them. Here's my perfect alarm clock. And again, I want something that wakes me up and I feel good about getting up. Okay?
Yep.
So I want an alarm clock that is a dawn simulator. I want it to gradually brighten the room.
Okay.
Because I have a hard time getting up when it's dark. Actually, that's a part of my snooze thing is by the second snooze, I'll turn the lights on in my bedroom.
It's a good idea.
I want it to wake me up to a nice sound. I don't want the beeping, maybe like birds chirping or like some yoga music or like waves crashing on the ocean. Something natural. And then I want it to do something practical for me, like tell me something nice or
give you a compliment.
Yeah, give me a compliment. Maybe tell me something informative about the day ahead. Remind me what's on my calendar for the day. And from there, side note, I also want it to prevent me from over snoozing. So I want it to, because that's a problem that I have. I want it to tell me like, you have 50 minutes to get out the door. You have 40 minutes to shower and eat and walk the dog and get out the door.
Right.
And that I think will give me a better sense because my sleep version of myself is not rational at all.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I need like an hour to get everything done in the morning. And that's pretty quick, I think. But I will snooze until I only have a half an hour, and my sleep self is like, oh yeah, I can shower, shave, walk the dog, get dressed, iron my shirt, and eat breakfast and warm up the car and get out in a half an hour.
Right. You have this crazy productive plan. You're like 2 minutes to shower. Of course, that's fine.
Right. Well, maybe that part, but the fact is you can't get it all into a half an hour. So I need a better sense of how much time I have. And I wanted to send a signal. I want it to be synced to everything in my morning routine. All right. What I'm talking about here is and this is going to be the slogan. It's more than an alarm clock. It's a time management system for your mornings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I put some thought into this. So I wanted to send a signal to my coffee pot. I wanted to start brewing my coffee. If I need to like heat up food or whatever, I wanted to do that. I want it to be synced to my remote car starter.
Yep.
So that it's starting my car 10 minutes before I need to be out the door. And I want it to continually alert me about how much time I have and about important things going on in the day.
Right. It starts your shower for you.
So, yeah, it can warm up the shower. I just want it to be involved in every timed process of my morning routine. It can play music. It can kind of be like, it's like the DJ for my morning.
Do you care if it's like, you have 60 minutes to get ready? You might be able to fit in a run, you fat lard. Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of it giving suggestions. I don't know about.
I forgot that earlier you said you wanted it to compliment you, so that might have been a change of pace. But
hey, you're looking good today. Not. Yeah. You're looking good today for somebody that's overweight.
Yeah, right.
I like the idea of suggestions. Like, how about, it starts there, it's like da 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 da. There's some harp music and then birds chirping, if you can imagine that. And then it's like, why not you've got peppers in the fridge. How about a Western omelet? Want me to send a recipe to your phone?
That's nice.
That's nice.
So the full home automation is what we're trying to reach.
No, a full morning automation.
Okay. Yep.
It's a time management system for your mornings. Didn't you remember the slogan?
Yeah. Take my money.
So and I feel like none of that is that crazy. It's basically like Alexa, except, wait, does Alexa already do all of those things?
Well, I mean, there's definitely some stuff that can be automated. Like you could change the temperature of your house. If you've got a Nest thermostat, it can definitely turn electronics on and off because you can get these outlets that are like Wi-Fi enabled.
Right.
I don't know of one that will like start your shower and start your car, but it's definitely not out of reach.
No, that's what I'm saying, is that none of that seems like it should be out of technological reach.
Yeah.
So I want, the morning time management system, patent pending.
Now, I'm going to jump into my idea here because I think it balances nicely with yours.
Okay.
I was thinking about this for a while.
I don't think that your idea could be better than mine, so go ahead.
Sure, just throw that out there. I was thinking about it, and I'm realizing it's not so much getting up that's my problem. It's going to bed on time. And so what I'm creating is the nighttime alarm clock. Okay? Okay. Now, this isn't just like, yeah, you can set an alarm to say like, oh, time to lay down and go to bed, right? That doesn't work for me. Just like I'll do in the morning, I will snooze the shit out of that and stay on Reddit till any hour of the night.
Right.
What this does is kind of the opposite of yours in that it just starts shutting stuff down. Okay? So all of a sudden, the lights in your house or your apartment are getting dimmer.
Dim down. Okay.
All of a sudden,
I like where this is headed.
Yeah, all of a sudden you no longer have hot water. And at a certain point,
wait, is it random? Is it random what things shut off?
It can be. Why not?
It should cut out your internet access.
That was my last thing. Is it cuts out your internet.
Oh,
so
that's rough.
All of a sudden it's 1865 in this bitch. Okay, and what are you staying up for at that point? Like, I probably will go to bed.
It should turn down the temperature in your house too, so it's like,
yeah, you want to get under the blankets.
1800s, and you need to stay warm by blanket.
So how great is this? Just all of a sudden, it's like your whole place starts shutting down, and you got to get in bed.
Yeah, and it can be like, if you go to bed right now, you're only getting 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, the things I have were lights, hot water, internet, but like you said, lower the temperature. I like
it because you're right. That's like the opposite of it's not the opposite. It's my idea for nighttime, except it's a little more aggressive.
Yeah, it is a little aggressive.
Mine's about making you feel good, and yours is about, it's like, get to bed, you fucking idiot.
Exactly. I mean, I love this. I actually really love the pair because it's so great to like turn it, to go back in time. We're going back, what was it, 200 BC.
Hang on a second. So does yours actually have a time traveling theme to it, or are you're just joking?
I mean, it doesn't, but in the sense that it's like, if you don't have power or internet, it's like, it might as well be
right.
It might as well be pre-Jesus.
Before the clock, you mean? It would be funny if it, like, as it traveled back in time, it was like, it's 1950. Here goes your color television.
Oh my god, can you imagine if it did that? Like, you're watching TV, starting at 9 p.m., it's now black and white.
That's kind of fun. You know, it's a little gimmick you can add to it.
10 p.m., your lights go out and the candles light.
Ah, I like it.
We're going back in time.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of good ideas there. I do see that your system and my system could be integrated together.
Yep.
Though I think we should keep them separate entities because I think my idea was better and I had a good slogan for it.
Yeah, I need a better slogan. I think the best I had was, it's 1865 in this bitch. I'm not sure if that would work.
I like that.
All right.
I like that. And then it should go all the way back to 0. The year 0.
At which point a gong is struck and Jesus is born.
No, the gong was like 600.
Oh, right.
AD. All right. Or post-Jesus. A lot of Jesus talk on this first episode. I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah, more than I thought, but it happens.
It did. Yeah, sometimes it happens. All right. So that's going to wrap up most of That Just Might Work, the first episode. We wrap up every episode, or we intend to, with a game called Has Someone Died Using It? And you can see how this is going to be amusing.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about the car or, the
assault rifle.
We're talking about the alarm clock. We might talk about the spoon. We might talk about, it's funny. Literally I can name anything that exists and I can't think of anything.
It's hard. It's weird, but it's hard.
The lamp.
There you go.
I just named things in front of me. The computer mouse. So, so we do encourage you to send us your ideas. But before we get to all that fun social media information, let's play the game. Has someone died using it? I've done the research. It's up to Jesse to take a guess here on, has somebody died using an alarm clock? And if so, how did it happen?
I could see people dying with a couple of the crazy new ideas we've come across, but like a regular old alarm clock? Would it count if someone had a heart attack and died from an alarm clock? I'm going to say yes.
I would say that would count, yes.
Okay, well then that's my answer. Final answer, yes.
Now, before I tell you whether you're right or wrong, we should keep a tally. Just to score you over time.
Okay.
And do you need to get both parts of the question right in order to, or do you get like half point? Half a point for yes or no, and then half a point if you are close on how it killed them.
Okay. So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say heart attack. I feel like on a show recorded in America, that might be my answer for a lot of the things we cover.
Yes, and I think the number one cause of U.S. citizens.
I think so.
Americans. All right. I'm gonna give you. I'm kind of stuck here. Yes, someone has died using an alarm clock.
Ding ding ding. Half point.
And yes, it was from heart failure.
Hey, that's pretty good.
However, you're thinking that it was the sound that startled them, right?
Correct.
That is not what caused the heart attack. The heart failure, I should say.
What was it?
It was actually an electric shock. Brought a ringing alarm clock. And it was a nurse in 2006.
Wow.
Nurse, ringing alarm clock, reached over to turn it off, shocked her, And it wasn't like high voltage or low voltage or anything like that. She actually had an undiagnosed heart abnormality, which caused her heart to stop beating when the alarm clock shocked her. 6 a.m.
Man, I would hate that.
That's a rude awakening, right?
Yeah. That's worse than some of the ones we mentioned.
Yes. All right, so I'm not sure if I can give you a full point on that, though you did say heart and you did say alarm clock. I'll give you a full point, but just know that you don't get full credit in my mind.
You're just starting out being nice.
Yeah, so 1 point for you. I don't. Is it 0 for me? Do I get a point if you get it wrong?
Maybe, or we need some quiz question for you.
All right. So again, do send us your ideas. If you'd like to hear us talk about the history or why it sucks or come up with some ideas for an everyday invention, send them along to ideas@thatjustmightworkpodcast.com. There's also a form on the website. Follow us on social media. You can tweet us or Facebook us your ideas, facebook.com/thatjustmightwork. On Twitter @TJMW Podcasts. The Instagram is @thatjustmightwork. And your complaints, you can send them to noonechecks.this @thatjustmightworkpodcast.com.
That is, in fact, a real email account that we have.
It's a mouthful. Yeah, and I think I am going to check it. Just because, even a complaint is still fan mail,
Yeah, we'll take it.
Somebody that's listening is a fan, whether or not they hate me or not.
Right.
In my mind.
We got to watch out for the French this time.
Yes, I expect some angry letters in French. So that concludes today's episode of That Just Might Work. Join us next week. We might be talking about your favorite everyday object.
Thanks for listening.